Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode, I will be doing a review for the Backrooms, the new movie, currently in theaters. I will start off by saying, and I hate to admit that this is how it was, um, due to things going around on the internet and concerns of people having a whole chicken jockey fit over the Backrooms, like they did for Minecraft. I didn't want to risk the experience being ruined for me, so I downloaded a copy online and I watched the movie that way. I do plan on buying this movie, um, regardless of if I liked it or not, um, just to have it in my collection because I do really like what Kane Parsons does with everything. But my God, this movie was great. I'm actually sad that I didn't watch it in the theater. Because it's pretty insane the things that this film tackles, and further expands upon, lore wise. Um, I will leave a link to 3C Chris's video in the description because he goes into a lot better detail at explaining the movie than I probably will. I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything. Um, and it's just the stuff that Kane did for this movie was just incredible. Um, the thought, the detail, everything. Um, so this video is essentially me giving my thoughts on the movie, as well as going into some things that Chris in his videos doesn't. I am someone who is very familiar with the Backrooms. I I think I found out about it. I want to say 2023, 2024. So I was still somewhat behind because I believe it came out in 2022. Um, so I was still a little behind on it compared to some other people. At that point, but it was still a ways before this movie was even announced, so I still had time to catch up before then. So I saw it, I watched it, was immediately intrigued as to the liminal horror space, as what is the goal of this video. Is there going to be more? What is the Backrooms? How is it here? What is it for? Um, and it's definitely one of the better things I've seen in the whole liminal horror landscape of just content in general, not just movies or shows. Um, and there are other people that have tackled the Backrooms. A lot of people on YouTube, and American Horror Story themselves even did an episode, which I didn't like. I tried watching it, couldn't even get like 10 minutes into the episode. I didn't like it. Um, but I think what Kane does with it is something out of left field, and it works. Like, you don't think of it that way, and it makes sense because you're not thinking of it that way, kind of. Um, and especially the thing that he tackles with this movie and explaining the Backrooms, where it's like this kind of like copy and pasted area. Like, it scans your memories and it's like remembering the memory of a memory of a memory. And that's why everything's like sort of familiar yet off, because it's got that like uncanny valley feeling to it. Like you remember it, but it's not exactly correct. Which definitely makes it unnerving and a certain horror aspect, which is really, really interesting that he pulls it off the way he does, not only in the movie, but in the YouTube show as well. The videos he does. I don't know how many videos he has specifically, like a specific number. I want to say it's like 15 to 16. I do know it is about 3 hours long altogether. So there's quite a bit. About a good hour and a half of that is all stuff like the actual found footage videos, not like the async people doing research and everything. And it is very much kind of hit or miss, because I believe, and I watched an interview that they did with Kane Parsons when he was promoting this movie, and he said that some parts of the original Backrooms video, and I believe this is exactly what he said. This might be verbatim, but I believe he said some parts of the original Backrooms video are non-canonical to the rest of the series and the movie. And I can't help but think this is mainly in regards to how he handles the entities in this, whether it's the bacteria life forms or the still life forms. Um, and the way he tackles it in this, with the whole liminal scape of how the Backrooms works, I think works perfectly with the lure. Um, however, when watching this, I quickly, since I had it downloaded, I could rewind it if I needed to. I rewinded it, and it sounded to me like Clark's clone, the pirate Clark, um, makes the same grunts and noises that the T-posing life form in the videos makes. Those sort of like cooing sounds that I believe I'm saying that right, that birds make, and just the sort of like little notes and stuff that they make in the YouTube shows, or episodes or videos, whatever you want to call them. And I want to say maybe there is a chance. And granted, if he says that it's non-canonical because of the life forms, then it's non-canonical because of the life forms, and I will give him that. He's the creator. Whatever he says goes. I can't tell him what to do. That's just how he feels about it. However, I think maybe they could explain the off, funny looking entities as someone not being remembered correctly. Like, that is the extent of not being remembered correctly in the Backrooms. Because a lot of this film focuses on is, as soon as you enter the Backrooms, it immediately does a scan of your mind, your subconscious, and it like kind of reprints it like an MRI machine, which they do say in the movie. Asing used to work on MRI machines until they started in the Backrooms and trying to uncover what it is. Now, it goes very little into detail about what async does there. It was very last minute when we actually sit down with one of the employees of the company, um, and I'm wondering if they'll tackle more of that, because one of the videos in the YouTube series specifies in a propaganda video they were trying to research the Backrooms and use it as like a storage facility because of how big and endless it is. And they're going to use it to store weapons, food, and ammunition, as, sort of like a free, like, pocket dimension, kind of. Like, you store it here so when you need it, you can enter this place and get it without taking up space in the real world. And then there's also going to be more housing units and stuff. Like, they would build houses in the Backrooms and stuff, sort of a way to, help the overpopulation issue. Which I think is kind of a smart way to use this unlimited space you found. Only problem is that there'd be a lot of backlash about that if people were to get killed by entities. And because it is like its own little pocket dimension, time and space moves very differently there. We've seen that in the show. One of the employees gets lost during an expedition trip, and they assume he's dead. Well, he's actually gone for months, but is still alive. But because time moved differently for him, he like jumped forward in time and got completely separate from his group. So we've seen all sorts of things, and we're just barely touching the surface on this. So I'm very eager to see what happens next, and if they tap more into the async part of the franchise in the next movie. Because and people have said this before. With as much as this movie is making, it's bound to get a sequel. Kane's even said he has it all mapped out. He knows how he wants to end, and there's definitely room for more. Um, so fingers crossed, we'll get an announcement. I've seen things saying a sequel's in production. I do not know if that's true or not, though. I kind of hope it is though, because I'd love to see more of this. Um, but um, but yeah, I just thought this was really well done. Some of the other things um, that I noticed is you do hear the same music, like the I believe the song's actually called "Still Life." And whenever I hear that noise, I say, "Oh, the in my head, the still life entity is near." Um, because that music from the third found footage video. Um, and you hear that a couple times throughout the movie. And I don't know. I'm assuming it is Clark's entity that kills the assistant manager and her boyfriend in the movie. However, that's not necessarily confirmed because we do not see the entity that grabs the boyfriend. Um, and again, because the music's playing, it leads me to believe that it's that entity. Now, I don't know if this is them trying to say that this is that entity, the copy of Clark, or what, but I do think that was an interesting thing to add, and everything. Visually, I thought it was really good. Um, Definitely kind of a step up. However, most of what Kane did for the video show was done in Blender. I believe he created everything in Blender, which I think is why he usually tries to stay away from people in the videos, except for the little live action segments that he does, and why usually whenever we see people in the videos, they're in hazmat suits, because then you can get away with the whole uncanny valley face looking aesthetic where it's trying to look human, but it's not quite. And I believe he even said that in one of the interviews as well, when he was promoting the movie. Um, and so getting to see more and everything and this and the entities actually looking more well done, actually resembling things and not just the giant collection of squiggles, I thought was a little nicer to see. Definitely feels more grounded and less cartoonish. But I mean, there is only limited things you can do on Blender, I will say. Trying to give Kane the benefit of the doubt on that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I can't wait to see more. Again, I will leave a link in the description to Chris's video because he does go into more detail, and better detail than I can. Um, but yeah, I thought this was really really interesting, and kind of just want to talk about it. This is probably one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Aside from Mario Galaxy. I have not yet seen Obsession. That is my next planned movie. Um, I think next in terms of movies, I have Obsession, and then Supergirl, and then Spider Man. Um, I'm working on trying to see Exit 8. I believe it got a DVD release, so I'm trying to see about getting that so I can watch it. I did watch Project Hail Mary. I'm not going to do a review on that. I did really enjoy it, though. I thought it was a great movie, and I do plan on buying it when it comes out. They did announce physical media versions of the film would come out. I've only seen pictures of the 4K release, but I am being told through different platforms it will be on Blu-ray and DVD as well. So fingers crossed. Um, I also watched Spider Noir. which was really good. I'm also not going to do a review on that. I watched it in black and white, for those wondering, just because that's what the show was made for, and that is his universe, black and white. I mean, that's why he's called Spider Man. It's called Spider Man Noir, but they changed it specifically in this because they can't have Peter Parker doing adult things. So that's why they changed it from Peter Parker to Ben Riley, which I believe in the comics they said he's Scarlet Spider, which was hard for me to remember and process because I never read stuff for Scarlet Spider or Ben Riley because I was never a Ben Riley person. But I think if I remember correctly, Scarlet Spider was referred to as Ben Riley in the Spider Verse movie. So definitely a different version. I've seen people still arguing if this is the same version as Into the Spider Verse. I'm gonna say if that is something you're questioning, then you're stupid because they specifically said in Into the Spider Verse that is Peter Parker, and this is Ben Riley. They're two different characters. They're completely different. I believe even if I remember correctly, in the backflash for Into the Spider Verse, that version said he was bit by a spider. This version was bit by a man spider. That was tested on during in a German concentration camp, I believe. So very drastically different. They did this one more adult. I was told, and I thought I heard somewhere that this was supposed to be TV-14. However, when I booted up Prime, it said MA. I don't know if this is an error on the site's side of things, or if they did change the rating and it was MA. I don't think it really deserves an MA rating. Yes, it was definitely quite violent, but there's not really a lot of language that I feel would grant an MA rating. I don't even think there was an F bomb dropped, if I remember correctly. There is some violence and there is some drinking and stuff, but other than that, I think it would have just been fine with the TV-14 rating. So I am interested to find out, whether or not that was something on the app's side that it got wrong. But yeah, I also had trouble trying to watch this. I don't know if other people had this as well. While I was trying to watch it, it kept trying to alternate back to color when I tried watching it in black and white. So it did make things a little tough. And after I'd gotten about 4 episodes in, it just automatically diverted to black and white, and it kept trying to switch it back and forth. But I thought that was a bit annoying. I understand the need to want to have it in both color formats because I do agree with Nicolas Cage. A lot of kids nowadays are too whatever nowadays to want to sit through black and white stuff. But I mean, I'm 21 and I sat through the black and white version just fine. So, to each their own, I guess. But granted, I've grown up with a lot more different medias, and I've seen a lot more black and white content than I think most people my age have. Because most people my age, I think, don't give a shit. They think it's boring if it's black and white because they can't see, they can't understand it well, and that's part of their problem. I watched the original Nosferatu in black and white, which was also a silent film, and I got that just fine. I actually prefer that to the new one. So, but that's just me and my taste in films, I guess. I did really enjoy Spider Noir, though, all things aside. Definitely one of the better shows. Definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Not because I don't like Nicolas Cage. I think he's okay. He's definitely a very method actor, especially in this series. The way he portrays Ben Riley, he's very method and hands on and very active in his performance, which is something I think he's done a lot, especially in Long Legs and especially Ghost Rider as well. That specifically that scene where he has the meltdown on the bike, where he's trying to hold back the transformation and then he lets it out. So he is definitely very method with his acting, very energetic. with the motions and stuff he does with his body. I actually think it works well with this version of the character, the more adult version, the certain ticks and stuff that he has. And I thought it worked well. They changed some things for the show. I don't know what, because I'm not a huge comic nerd on Spider-Man Noir. But I did enjoy what they did for the show. It definitely felt a lot grounded. It worked really well. It's very cohesive. Um, but yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at as far as movies and shows, what I've seen, what I'm planning on seeing. Um, a quick update for how everything else is. I was finally able to purchase another computer, so hopefully that works well and I can start recording videos and live streams for gaming. I know I have stuff for the Xbox set up, and I at some point want to start doing live streams for Marvel content, so I can play Marvel Infinity or Marvel Lego Avengers or whatever, and do like videos with chat and just talk to you guys about maybe what you guys want to talk about Marvel stuff, and stuff. That way I'm interacting with you guys as well. I know more of your thoughts and opinions going into things about how I should do stuff in the future, and everything. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be able to start that. However, things at work are not getting any better. By Just picked up more hours, and I'm gonna have a lot of overtime coming up. So it is gonna be a lot of long days, unfortunately, over 40-hour days, and that's not fun. That's not something I'm looking forward to. Um, so content will probably almost be completely non-existent. I'm behind on DVD covers, unfortunately. I have been for a while. That's why if you follow me on DeviantArt, you've noticed there's barely been any uploads. I have stuff done. I've just not gotten it uploaded yet. I finished the disc art for Shogun. I just did a cover the other day for Defenders because I burned Defenders, so I have cover art for that. I have disc art for Hitmonkey I could upload and haven't gotten to that. I have stuff for Backrooms, not the movie, the YouTube series. I have that I could upload, and haven't done that yet. So I definitely have some content I'm sitting on. I've just not gotten around to uploading it yet. And speaking of content, I did finally hear back about the contest I'd entered for the book, Pro Writing Aid. I am unfortunately not one of the runner-ups, and I also was not the winner. So, unfortunately, nothing there to help me out on that part. I am still planning on working on the book. However, again, me picking up more hours at work, I don't know when that'll be. If you guys can show some support and everything, maybe that'll help me get things going a little quicker. Definitely help me decide, where I need to be focusing on certain things. I do really think once this book is out there, you guys will really enjoy it. Um, so, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Um, I will be doing another video here whenever I can. Again, work around my schedule about it, but there is some things that I missed out on my physical media videos, my physical media collection that I uploaded a couple days ago. I just, as of, it's 5:20 as of me recording this, so 2 days ago, Thursday, I went to Walmart and bought some new movies. So I do have in my collection now The Lost World, Jurassic Park on DVD, Send Help on DVD, and 21 Bridges on DVD. So those are 3 new DVDs for my collection. I also have a set of cassette tapes that I completely forgot I own because I have them stored in my closet right now. But I will definitely showcase those with the 3 new DVDs as well as an update for my media collection, just to show you guys just a bit more into what all I own media-wise. then it would also give you guys a chance to see the Defenders art as well. Again, I'm still trying to switch some stuff on DeviantArt. That's not that's not done yet. I'm still working on that. Just like I said, it's all very time consuming, and I just don't have enough time. I actually have not even been to sleep yet as I'm recording this, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, and hopefully try to get some sleep. And I will try to do another upload, fairly not fairly quick, but I'll try not to make it like a year between videos or something. I'll try to give you guys some sort of update, whether it's via the book, or streaming, or something, going forward. But until next time, this is me, signing off.